The Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation is the charitable arm of the Masons of Michigan. A subsidiary of the Grand Lodge of Michigan and a partner for local Masonic lodges, the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation not only works with Masons in their own times of need, but also helps them give life to the ideals on which Masonry is founded. By providing financial support for locally selected community charities and student scholarships, the Masonic Child Identification Program, and Masonic Pathways, the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation empowers local Masonic lodges to make a real difference in the world around them. Ethan LaForme's story is a powerful example of how matching funds from the Michigan Masonic Charitable Foundation can increase the impact a lodge can make in their community through a community charities grant. Ethan was diagnosed with leukemia when he was just 2 years old. Since then, he has undergone extensive treatments that have created many challenges for him and his family, particularly in the form of medical expenses. Here is Ethan's story.
Ethan is probably the most fun and exciting and energetic person I've ever met in my life. He's always full of life, and he loves to be social, loves to be around people, loves everything.
Ethan was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, T cell type, and from the start he was on a respirator because he wasn't able to breathe because of the size of the tumor in his chest.
We made a promise right away, my husband and I, that we were going to do whatever it took, no matter what we had to sacrifice to have him be cancer-free. We actually, turned in both of our vehicles. I was driving my brother's car for a while. We did any kind of cuts we could to our household, changed services on things, removed services, just anything we could possibly think of, lived completely different than what we had lived before.
It has been extremely difficult, I had to leave my job to stay home with Ethan just because of all his treatments, making sure he doesn't get sick, trying to do the best that we can so he doesn't get a fever or whatever. Especially for Emily, being at that time about 12 and a half, it was very difficult for her to have her sibling go through this.
My daughter had a third grade teacher, several years ago named Jan Sutherland, and her brother-in-law is a very active Mason, Leon Richardson. He had met my daughter at the elementary school and gotten to know her, and I guess you're talking to Jan, his sister-in-law. They had thought about helping our family.
Janet Sutherland, my sister-in-law, told her who I was and what we were going to try to do. At that point, Emily started crying, and she hugged me and she said, "Thank you, Mr. Mason, for trying to help my brother."
I reached out for the Masons because I thought that the more help we could have, the better chance he had at fighting cancer.
At that point, I believe that God had them come right when they needed to. Things were falling apart, and they just walked in, and the timing was just unbelievable.
We decided at that point that we would have a meeting with the lodges in District 56 and approach the masters of the lodges and see what response we could get. And they, right from the very start, they were all very receptive to it.
Somebody brought up the question about what they thought we could do with a benefit dinner. We decided what we were going to do, and we went from there.
My understanding is that we had something over 500 guests, and in all, the total was raised something over $18,000. We even had people stop by that just give donations that didn't even stop to eat. Some of them ate and paid maybe double for their dinners even, just to help the cause. The Michigan Motorcycle Masonic Association also had a motorcycle ride where they raised a lot of money, and they also had probably 50 to 60 bikes. In addition to the money that the lodges raised, the Michigan Foundation also contributed money toward Ethan.
They will give us matching funds for any fundraiser that we do. And they did in Ethan's case. And it's just a great part of Masonry.
If the Masons hadn't come into our lives, we would probably honestly be living with one of our family members right now. We would have lost our house. There's no way that we would have been able to keep it and maintain everything else.
We didn't have to worry. We had so many other things to worry about, and it just took the whole financial thing away. They've pretty much saved our family.
If I never do anything in Masonry, again, this will be the moment I remember from my Masonic career. I'm just glad that they're a part of my life. They've helped me as much as I've helped them.
Thank you to the Masons for helping my children in the ways that they did. My son has his medical bills taken care of. I can't imagine what we would be doing if we did not have that happen. And our daughter has been able to continue to live in the house that she grew up in, go to the school where she attends, be around her friends in the neighborhood, and her lifestyle has not changed. And from the donations that were done by the Masons, that has all become possible.